Hey guys, fresh from the sewers, it's Mighty Matt and the Shredder, and today we're talking turtles.
Who ever heard of talking turtles?
Retromutagen Dudes.
Cowabunga!
Hang on, April.
Class is pain 101.
Insufficient data, boss.
Look, trust me when I tell you, you don't want to do this.
Booyakasha.
Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
Cowabunga.
Oh, y'all got jokes, huh?
Why don't we talk about turtles?
Alright, so I wanted to talk a little bit about some video games mainly, but get back to talking turtles a little bit, because we haven't really talked turtles in a little while, right? So,
And that's our bread and butter.
that is our bread and our butter. So, turtles have been in a number of games recently that aren't necessarily Turtles games. We already talked about Shredder's Revenge coming out, so that's exciting. But to back up a little bit, the Turtles were, I think, their first appearance in a game, as far as I know, that wasn't a Turtles game, was Injustice 2. Now, you've played Injustice 2, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So it's NetherRealm Studios, the guys who make Mortal Kombat. It's basically a Mortal Kombat-esque game, but it's with a lot of DC characters and then some added characters here and there. And everyone, I think, was kind of surprised whenever they put the Ninja Turtles in there. And it turned out really, really well. Personally, I really wish that they would take that engine and just make a new Turtles Tournament Fighters game, because I think that would be phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'd be down for that for sure.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. If you haven't played it, if you're into fighting games, or if you like Turtles or whatever, I mean, go check it out. They did a phenomenal job with the Turtles, and the game has a lot of replayability in it. So, really fun title. They have been in Smite. They've been downloadable characters in the game Smite, which no one knows what that is, but I played a crap ton of it. They're not really characters in that. They're just skins, and you had to earn them. But it was the most popular add-on for that game ever, to the point where they have, at the time of recording this, it is going on again. They brought it back because not enough people got to unlock all of the things that they wanted that was turtle related. So that's really cool. That says something about the fan base, really, because there have been Avatar and all this other stuff added in there, and the Turtles really kind of just stole the show and really took the player base up in that game. So the Turtles have also shown up in the Nickelodeon Kart Racer game, because they're Nickelodeon characters. Then there was Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2. Did you play either of those?
No, actually, I haven't played any of them.
Being the addict that I am, I felt obligated to buying those games just because the Turtles were in it. It's essentially a kart racer. It's a knockoff Mario Kart. It's not going to be as good as Mario Kart, but it's fine. I just played it so I could play as the Turtles in something else.
Now you say that the Turtles, like, it's a kart racing game. So, like, what, do they have all four Turtles as drivers in a cart?
Correct. Yep.
Do they have, like, do they have the voices of, like, the 2012 show?
I don't recall. I know that the first Nickelodeon Kart Racers, though, they were the 2012 Turtle style. And I'm pretty certain that on the second one, they were the Rise Turtles. Yeah, which might be about the only thing that the Rise Turtles ever show up in game-wise, because they're Rise Turtles. But
right.
but they're in that. They were also in, I forget the name of it. They show up in cameos all the time in different stupid things. There's some mobile game that's basically like Paperboy that they showed up in and things like that. But that's not really the goal of what we're talking about. More recently, they are in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, which is a fairly good game. And it's essentially, it's like a watered-down Smash Brothers. It's not bad. It's just not as in-depth as Smash Brothers, but it's kind of like on the same page as TMNT Smash Up, I guess, maybe. But currently, it's only Leonardo, Michelangelo, and April, which I think is weird. But I guess data miners found instances of Shredder and I think Rocksteady also in it. I mean, by the time this video comes out, who the hell knows what's going to be in it? But it's not all the turtles. But if you wanted to play Smash Brothers or a TMNT Smash Up type game with turtles, there you go, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. On that same page, Brawlhalla, which is a free Smash Brothers-esque game, the turtles were in that for a short time. Maybe they're not anymore. It was kind of a mess. I didn't even get them. I tried to get them. I didn't even understand how to get them. Brawlhalla is like a Smash Brothers game that's on a lower rung than the Nickelodeon Brawl. So it's like Brawlhalla, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Smash Brothers, right? There's also mobile games that are actually turtle games and things recently, and things such as that. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, did you see most recently that there, I believe, was a leak of the title for the next TMNT, I think it's the movie?
Oh, the next chapter?
The next chapter. And so two things to me have come out of that. First of all, it's called The Next Chapter, which kind of plays into my theory, which by the time this airs will probably be blown out of the water. But all these games that I've been mentioning, for the most part anyway, are all the Fred Wolf style turtles. And that could be a coincidence, or it could be because that's the route they're going in the future, going back to that style. I think that has proven to be the most popular TMNT style of anything. Most people you talk to that aren't hardcore fans, at least, if you mention Ninja Turtles to them, what goes in their head is the Fred Wolf style turtles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the one version of the turtles that you constantly see in merchandising now. So you don't see adult Ninja Turtle T-shirts being sold at Targets or Walmart or anything. I mean, you don't see them at all now. But like normally, you wouldn't see them with like the 2003 version of the Turtles or the Nickelodeon version. It's always that Fred Wolf original cartoon version. It's the one with the most marketing that's still going on today. So yeah, it's definitely the one that the public is most conscious of.
Correct. Nailed it.
But yes, that's the one that they're most aware of, and it totally makes sense for them to base. Then it would make the most sense for them to base the next movie on that iteration, or at least to be playing in that sort of that style and that playground. I mean, that sandbox of the original Fred Wolf cartoon. Use that sort of their backstory, or at least that that the way that world is set up. So you have like Krang from Dimension X, in his android body, and that Shred or Splinter is actually Mato Yoshi turned into a rat. Like, I think it would make the most sense to base it all on that.
Right. Exactly, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. Even we have the insurance commercials from the UK that have the turtles in it that are most reminiscent of that style turtle, of more so than any other. The Shredder's Revenge trailer, obviously that's based on the Fred Wolf series, but the trailer that has that animation sequence in it is fantastic and got a lot of people pumped. And that game has now been pushed back, which is really weird to me, because games like that don't generally get pushed back, at least not for a year, which is what has happened now. So that tells me I wouldn't think it's because they need to add a lot to the game, because it's a very simplistic game to make. I feel like it's more likely that it's to align with the release of something. And why would you do that if they aren't the same style turtle anyway? You know what I mean? Like, if
they're conflicting styles, that one wouldn't affect the other that much.
Correct.
Right. Like if there was a Batman the Animated Series thing, and if there was a new Batman movie, like they wouldn't need them to be released, around the same time to promote, to help promote one or the other, because they're totally different things. Like they could, they could do it at totally different times and it wouldn't matter. Same thing with this. Like it makes sense. I mean, the reason must be because it's based on the, you know, they're going to be very similar.
Right. That's what makes the most logical sense to me. There's even like the new Hot Wheels game came out and has like the turtle van in it, which I know there's a Hot Wheels turtle van, but there's a lot of Hot Wheels Ninja Turtle cars and such. So it's, I don't know. It seems like there's an awful lot between the merchandising and, of course, look at all the action figure lines right now. They're all based on the Fred Wolf series. Every one of them.
Yep.
So, and there's what, at least 3 different companies making Ninja Turtle toys right now with, I don't know, 8 different lines or something. They're all based on the Fred Wolf era Turtles. All the merchandise, all of everything that's coming out is based on that original series. So whenever they showed this logo, not only is it called The Next Chapter, which, and it's supposed to be a reboot essentially. So you wouldn't call something The Next Chapter if it's its own thing, or generally if it's a reboot. The only reason to call it The Next Chapter is if it's actually a next chapter of something that's already been done, right?
Right. Yeah.
On top of which, the logo itself is extremely reminiscent of the Fred Wolf logo, more so than any of the other logos, probably. So
Yeah, because it's got that red bar for the Teenage Mutant Ninja part, and then the turtle letters are all sort of, instead of like looking like a shell, it's kind of like all ooze, but still like it's definitely like it's all framed and positioned in a way to evoke the original Fred Wolf logo.
correct. So if it was going to be a next chapter off of the Bay movies, it would look different. If it was going to be a next chapter off of, you know, Rise even, which I know all those turtle logos kind of have a similar thing going on, but none of them is close to what this does to the Fred Wolf. So my prayers and my hope and my theory is that this next chapter that they're showing is going to actually be much more related to the Fred Wolf Turtles than being its own thing or related to any of the other iterations.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a lot of the what we're seeing would indicate as much, and I think it's really exciting. I think that's a really neat idea because honestly, none of the films we've now gotten 6 films, you know, of the Ninja Turtles. You know, the original 3 live-action films, the 2007 CGI, the 2 Michael Bay films, and I guess also if you really wanted to count it, you could almost count Turtles Forever as another unofficial film, you know, ish.
Right.
But none of, you know, aside from Turtles Forever, like none of them were featured like that, the original Fred Wolf version of the Turtles. And you know, when you grew up with that cartoon like we did, you always kind of wanted to see like a big budget version of that. You know, I love, you know, the 1990 film is one of my favorite films of all time, but you watch that movie and it's more of an adaptation of the Mirage comics with a few elements of the Fred Wolf cartoon sprinkled in, like the different colored headbands and the surfer lingo and pizza and all that stuff. But the story, the tone is definitely not what the Fred Wolf cartoon is like at all.
Correct.
It's much more of the Mirage comics. So it's just you want to see like a big budget version of the Fred Wolf cartoon, and also one that is a little bit more in tone with maybe the first 5 episodes, that first original season of the cartoon, where the humor was a little bit better and there was a little bit more action, you know, because you know we've talked to you know about the following seasons to death. You know, it does the show did become much more of a comedy show rather than an action adventure show, and it would just be really neat to see those characters, that world, in a much more action adventure type movie, you know, with a big budget and with a lot of love and care put into it.
Oh, absolutely. And again, to talk about the Shredder's Revenge trailer, that animation is more in line with the first 5 episodes of the pilot episodes of the Fred Wolf than anything else. They still have the beak You know, it's a little bit darker and rougher edges and things. So I really hope, like, you know, Seth Rogen's not that probably far off from our age, I wouldn't think.
I think he's a little older than us, but not by a lot.
Right. He's probably in his 40s, I would assume. But if he's producing this, I think we have the best shot that we've ever had, besides at the time of the first movie, to get a Fred Wolf style TMNT. And I'm hoping that the franchise as a whole is going towards that, to establish them as like, this is what TMNT is now. Like, I know that Mirage started it all, but the boom was because of this Fred Wolf series with Bebop and Rocksteady and Krang and all of this. So I don't know. Yeah. The more things that come out as time goes on, the more Turtles news that comes out and little things like that really kind of give me hope that that's the way it's going, especially with this Nickelodeon game, because Nickelodeon they did Rise, which no one gave a shit about, and then they did the 2012 show, which was extremely popular, but the style that they chose to put in this game, that they're trying to put a lot of emphasis on this game to make it actually something good, not just some other Nickelodeon game, they chose the Fred Wolf Turtles, and that's a big flag to me, that I really hope that that's the direction that the franchise is just going in as a whole.
I'm, I say it a lot, but I agree. I totally agree with you. I would probably be a little skeptical if they were going to use the Fred Wolf version, if that's all we've gotten. Like, this whole, ever since the creation of the Turtles, like, if everything was just based off the Fred Wolf cartoon, I'd be like, oh, couldn't we try something else? Couldn't we try darker or this or that or whatever? But the thing is, we've gotten lots of different iterations of the Turtles, because the 2003 Fox, the 4Kids show is very different from the original cartoon. Even the movies, the live action films are different. The 2007 CGI film was very different. The Michael Bay films are drastically different. So it's like we've gotten lots of different iterations of the Turtles. So we can't sit here and say, like, this is the only kind of versions of the Turtles we've gotten. We should try something new. It's not like Batman. Yeah, Batman's had, like, tons and tons of different versions. The Adam West show, the animated series, the comics and the movies. Everything's different. So we, it's just like the Turtles. We've got a lot of different iterations. So I'm totally welcoming of this of the idea of the Fred Wolf cartoon kind of like coming back and just being like, this is what we're gonna do from for the foreseeable future. We're gonna set our universe right in that universe, and we're gonna stick with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I know I've said before, but if I could have anything I want, give me a new show, give me the animation style that was in the Shredder's Revenge trailer, give me the original voice cast, because they're all big fans. They're all still into Turtles. All of them are great people, and they love it, and I guarantee they'd be on board. Do this. Set the future tone for what Turtles could be, as opposed to what it has been for the past couple years. Please, God Almighty, do that.
And all those voice actors, they can still do the voices too. I got to hear Bebop and Rocksteady in person, so I can attest that they can still go. They can still do it, man.
Yeah, they still got it, and we still want it. So give it to me.
Yeah, it's not like nobody's asking for this.
Right.
Trust me, like, all Turtle fans, or most Turtle fans, would definitely jump, at this sort of direction of the Turtles that we're hoping, we're thinking is going to happen. So we're not alone.
Yeah, we're not this small niche group. I mean, how many years are we now into the Fred Wolf style Turtle toy line, and they still have to lock them up because they fly off the damn shelves and they limit you to what you can buy on them. That's still happening. We've had this toy line for how many years now? That's the fan base. Cater to the fans. That's where the money is.
Whenever I go to Target, I always see King Kong on the shelves. I see Back to the Future figures on the shelves. It's the same bunch of figures, Alien, but I never see Turtles, and that's because they can't keep them on the shelves. People like us fans are just like we're rabid with those things.
Yeah, multiple times a week I'll go to Walmart and Target, and there's that collector's section, and you're right, it's completely full, always full, and then there's this one blank frickin' spot where Turtles was. That's how popular it is. It's the most popular damn thing in that whole section. And I live in the middle of nowhere, and you live in a bigger place. It's the same everywhere, and they have to know that. Speaking of which, there's a shout out. Our boy Aaron Hazouri. How about that? How about the he drew some of the NECA art for Turtles.
That's right.
That's rad.
That's right. That's totally rad. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. He's an awesome artist. I love his artwork, and I'm so glad that he's getting a chance to work with NECA on doing some future stuff for them. So I think it's so cool.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for him for that, man. The guy, like you said, the guy is an awesome guy. I've bought a number of his artwork from him, and he always takes the time to make something special for you on it and everything else, and he's the coolest guy to talk to, and I'm so happy for him. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a really cool opportunity for him. I'm really glad that he's got that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, before we shove off, I actually have a shout out I would like to do real quick. Kind of a little plug. I recently went onto Etsy, and I was kind of like looking for some cool retro Ninja Turtle stuff, and I came upon this one seller called Surrounded by Tees. Tees as in, like, you know, your T-shirts. And they had, it's that, remember, like, during, like, the original, like, late 80s, early 90s, the original run of Ninja Turtles merchandise, there was that T-shirt that was on, like, I think, like, a long sleeve shirt and sweatpants set. It was said fresh from the sewers, and it had, like, kind of, like, it had the Turtles on there, but they looked a lot more comic book-esque. They looked like they were probably drawn by, like, Kevin Eastman. But somebody, this Surrounded by Tees company, they were able to, like, recreate that but put it on adult T-shirts. And I recently bought one, and the T-shirt looks great. I could even post a picture on the Facebook group eventually if people want to see it. But and also, like, they were super cool and added, like, some other neat things into the package. Like, I got an issue of Turtle Soup from, you know, the Mirage comic from the 90s. And I also had 2 vintage pins from the 1990 movie. So got a lot of nice little goodies from them. That was kind of a nice little bonus. And the shirt also was not expensive either. Like, I did not pay a whole lot, so it was a really good deal. So I highly recommend going on to Etsy and checking out Surrounded by Tees.
All one word. So yeah, good shout out. Definitely check him out. And if you want to check out Aaron, his website is cartoonistaaron.bigcartel.com. So give him a check.
Yeah, he's highly recommended. He's got some awesome artwork. Now he doesn't only do Turtles. He does, like, you know, Ghostbusters, and he's got some of his own creations like Toaster Man and all kinds of really neat stuff. So go definitely check him out.
Yeah, check him out. Tell him Retromutagen Podcast sent you, and he'll be like, "Who the hell? What are you talking about?"
Who the hell was that?
What? But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. I just want to say here's what Turtles are right now. Here's where I hope they go. Here's where I think they're probably going based on everything that's going on. And if they don't, they're stupid. Until next time, everybody.
Yeah, stay
Retro.
Cowabunga!
That's the music, maybe.
Yeah, that's the music.
Damn it, Aaron.
9.95. And the power of balance, the power is now. It's rising up from the underground. That's all you're getting out of me.
That's more than enough, right? Dude, His neutrino picture's sold out. I didn't even know he put it up. Damn it, I would have bought that. What's going on? There are actually turtle games right now. Like we've talked before about the.
And then I'm gonna make fun of this.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna call Dave, and I'm gonna tell Dave, and I'm gonna make fun of this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna call your mom, and I'm gonna make fun of this.
And you're going to end up on the blooper reel. Conscious.
And conscious. They know about it.
Conscience.
Science.
I'm on it currently, and I'm not paying attention to the podcast. No, yeah, check
What
it
else
out.
is new? Yeah, not too long.
Not too long. It doesn't really hurt or anything.
Yep, that's the story of my life.
Jesus.